It's my party, you can't stop me. I'll be high, yeah, I'll be rocking. Show me your hands, let me see you dropping. Going all night, just keep on watching. I'll go out, yeah, I'll go hunting. Turn it up and keep it coming. Are you ready? Yeah, you ready? Are you ready to roll? It's my party, you can't stop me. I'll be high, yeah, I'll be rocking. Show me your hands, let me see you dropping. Going all night, just keep on watching. I'll go out, yeah, I'll go hunting. Turn it up and keep it coming. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to go? Tonight we're partying. We're going on a safari. You shouldn't be worried, be worried. Let's get it started.
And hello everybody. Let's just turn down that little bit of a rocking tune there, just a little bit. Because we don't want you to party without us, guys. We really don't. Anyway, I'm the Cranky Canuck. This is a Late Night with Cranky and Friends. I'm so glad you could join us for another evening, and I am being joined by two of my great co-hosts. On this side of the table, we have Karida looking as beautiful as ever, even though she almost didn't have a machine that wanted to boot up before showtime. That was not a good thing to have happen, but she's here, and we're very happy about that. And on the flip side, we have Mr. Red Mage.
Yay!
Being Mr. Red Mage, which we really don't want to know any more about than we have to. So we'll just leave it at that. How are you two tonight? How are you doing, Karida?
Annoyed right now.
Uh-oh. Watch out, folks. Karida's annoyed. Behave yourselves. I'm warning you. She's not one to mess with when she's in a pissy mood. Just be nice. Why are you in such a state, Karida?
Because after the reboot issue, now my PS4 controller's having trouble syncing up.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about it for an hour or so.
It's still gonna bug the ever-loving fuck out of me.
And how are you doing, Red?
Very good day. Very good.
Yeah, I saw you. You went out traipsing around the countryside today in your spiffy car, and that's running properly now.
Yeah, well, that's not exactly the high point of my days.
Uh-oh, who was she?
Well, no. What was the first thing I said to you this morning?
Oh, but the email that you got. Yeah.
Yes.
We're still waiting to hear that, but we'll pass that along towards near the end of the show. Normally, we've been having a habit of starting on the show off with, some movie clips or some, really interesting kind of newsy clips. Today I thought maybe we would just take a little walk down memory lane as to what they thought back in the 80s a computer generation would look like. So we have this one here for you to begin with.
You're looking at a small portable computer called the IBM 5100. It's helping a lot of different people do their work more productively.
Managing real estate investments entails many difficult decisions. Do I pay it now or later? What about the landscaping? Can we afford it? What about taxes? There are many, many difficult decisions to make. It's really nice having a computer to help.
It weighs about 50 pounds. You can plug it in anywhere.
Bad weather, late deliveries, construction delays.
It weighs as much as my dog.
Now we can find that out fast.
The 5100 can help handle some very complex information.
Jet fuel is expensive. At Simmons Precision, we're
Careful,
developing a
typing.
product that will help the pilots save fuel. Flight test time is also expensive.
But we do our flight tests right here in the lab on our 5100 and save time and money.
Capacity? About the same as some large computers a few years ago.
We're a mid-sized life insurance company. If we want to compete, and we do, we've got to be flexible.
Oh, look at that hairdo.
This little
Those
machine
chops.
will help us do it.
The 5100 is easy to learn and simple to use.
There are countless combinations of feed we can mix. What is the most economical for any particular herd? That's what I'm figuring out now.
The cost of the 5100 is reasonable.
Paper, ink, size, weight, overhead, and don't forget the shipping cost. Estimating a printing job is not so easy. Our estimators handle 50% more work since we got the 5100. We do it faster and a lot more accurately, and our customers really love it.
The IBM 5100. It's bringing the advantages of the computer to more and more people.
That's like all computer and no screen.
I know.
It's
Now,
like, how do you read
this
it?
next one has the approval of the Time Lord himself.
Doctor, the universe is about to end. What? We need the orbital coordinates of 900 planets of the constellation of Castorberus in 17 seconds.
17 seconds.
16.
Constellation of Castorberus in how many seconds?
11.
Good interaction so far. 900 planets.
10.
Excellent response.
Come on, Doctor.
900 planets in how many seconds?
3.
3 seconds.
1 second, Doctor.
1 second. Well done, Prime.
Prime computer.
Not so loud.
Prime computer.
That's better.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist playing. Like, this was just like.
Do you like it?
Do I like it? I love it. Is it really a prime computer?
Do you know about them?
Know about them? I've seen them on Gallifrey in the constellation of Castorberus. Ha ha! At last, I'm up to date.
Would you like to be introduced? It's terribly interactive.
Interactive? You mean immediate response?
Immediate.
Okay, Prime. How long's my scarf?
Well, it's not that impressive.
What? In 7 computer languages and 5 protocols?
Protocols?
Yes. That's how it talks to other computers.
It talks to other computers.
Well, of course it does. It's a prime. You're going to be all right, kid.
Anyway, that was a series that they did. Then we finally have the captain himself.
When it comes to video games, nobody.
Oh God, it's Bill Gates Jr.
I find television more sophisticated and lifelike. Gentlemen, move over for my friend Vic. The Commodore VIC-20. Move over. The Commodore VIC-20 does more than your machine. It's a great computer that also plays great games. Like this, and this, and this.
A computer that plays great games?
Under $300. Exactly. We didn't know. Get the Commodore VIC-20 computer for under $300. Why buy just a video game from Atari or Intellivision? Invest in the wonder computer of the 1980s for under $300. The Commodore VIC-20. Unlike games, it has a real computer keyboard. With the Commodore VIC-20, the whole family can learn computing at home. Plays great games, too. Under $300, the wonder computer of the 1980s, the Commodore VIC-20.
Coming soon, Commodore brings you Gorf, the Wonder arcade game, and Omega Race in home versions.
When it comes to video...
Shut up. enough
Peggy 12.
Yeah, we know Peggy 12. That'll be in a minute. So, how was that little walk down? Actually, I think that was when you guys were like babes in the woods.
Yep. Hey, I had an Atari when I was 2, so I was reading that line.
Same here.
Minus the glasses and the suit, but more so like the present bow on my head.
So, do you think they got the future pretty right?
Hey, they finally showed us mainly using it for gaming.
Yes, that is true. You know, gaming is important. You know, very important. Thank you, Dizzy, for the host, man. Very, very much. I don't know. I just saw those today. Like, there was a whole slew of them in this post, which I didn't bother saving. I just grabbed what I thought were the best videos, and it was just fun to sort of go back, because a lot of those commercials, I was in my teen. Well, no, I would have been in my 20s. I think it would have been. No, older than that, I would have been in my 30s. Pardon me. Yeah, the 80s. Like when I was in high school, this was my last year of high school was when they first brought in the PET computer, and there was 2 of them in the computer lab. That was it. That was the extent of the computer lab. 2 PET computers. You know, like, wow, we're gonna do a lot with this. But yeah, no, that was. So I've basically seen the computer industry grow from non-existence to being the massive thing it is today. Yesterday, and I'm going to replay the trailer again, because yesterday we were talking about a new game called Ethereum. And luckily enough, I was able to get a key for it so that Red could play it, and he's also going to do up a review of it for crankygamers.com. So what we'll do is we'll play the trailer first, and then we'll get your hands-on impressions of the game.
12.
Okay, so that is the trailer for Ethereum. And while we wait for credit, now like I said, I managed to get you a key so you could play the game and you know, do the review for crankygamers.com, and you're also gonna let us know what your thoughts of it are so far.
Yeah, I got into it. I think I've only gotten the main tutorial off the main menu just to get a feel for how the game operates, as well as the first mission out of the campaign, which essentially is a tutorial. What they really don't show you in this is that there's actually 2 components to the game. There's the real-time strategy, which what I really like about it is it's not about Zerg rushing and mass amounts of units like StarCraft is. So it is a little bit slower paced in that regard, which for me, not being a heavy RTS player, is actually really good to pick up. But the other aspect of this is there's a space, like a fleet war going on, and the way to win is either to destroy all the bases or completely decimate your enemy's fleet. And Ethereum's basically the resource that they're trying to gather, which is this weird thing that comes up every 1,000 years. This alien life form lays eggs basically, and Ethereum is the egg, and it's apparently very highly sought after. So
yeah, isn't it supposed to be the way they power their hyperspace?
I believe so. Like they do. Like starting the human campaign, they give you the whole backstory as to how they got to where they are, and definitely do not paint humans in a very positive light in the way that they operate. Which you know what?
Tells the truth.
But it's one of those. Oh yeah, they had a great prosperous society, and then the Shadow Lords took over, this secret society Illuminati group basically, and just took over everything and did whatever they needed to get shit done. And I'm like, okay, but. Gameplay is interesting because it's the one thing that I mentioned this earlier, and it's the one thing niggling at me, because after playing City Skylines with the WASD as camera controls, their controls are Q, Z, S, and D.
That's a
And
really
it's-
strange combination.
And it's Q and D go left and right, S and Z go up and down. Or sorry, S goes down, Z goes up. So that part of the camera controls is it's not intuitive, but of course you have the mouse scroll on the edge of the screen. But like the combat is like it's your standard fare for an RTS. But the whole idea is it's you don't have this open area where you can just plop down things wherever you please. You have sectors. Each sector has a monolith, which you take your base units and capture. So then you capture that, you can put different add-ons to each facility that you capture, and then keep expanding and building turrets and army. And I'm still just getting into the tip of the iceberg, but it's interesting. It's fun so far.
What's the graphics like? Are they as good as what they advertised in the trailer, or not quite?
They are. I'm also not running the most high-end machine either. I would probably say I'm between bargain and mid-grade for a lot of my components in the computer. So the base, without doing any changing of settings, it looked great. So I was impressed with that. It wasn't like lagging behind or anything. So I'm just excited to get a little more into it and get deeper in and get hands-on with all the different factions.
Cool. Well, when you've had a bit more chance to play it, we'll come back and revisit it and see what your impressions are, and then we'll go from there. If you are an Xbox One or Xbox 360 Live and you have Xbox Gold Live, you know that each month Microsoft coughs up a couple free games for you. For the month of April, they're actually going to have 4 free games. 2 of which will be for the whole month, and then 2, like before, will split half a month each. The 2 games that are going to be available all month on the Xbox One are Pool Nation FX and Child of Light, which I've got the wallpaper from Child of Light, and it's absolutely gorgeous artwork. Just gorgeous. For the Xbox 360, from April 1st to April 15th, you have Gears of War Judgment, or you have Terraria.
Both good games.
From April 16th to April 31st, you have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and Army of Two The Devil's Cartel. What are you laughing at?
2 games I haven't played and 2 games I would love to play.
Well, they're going to be free.
I'm waiting now. I have to resubscribe to Gold again for next month.
Microsoft got a lot of flack when they started this gold, deal every month. Well, not flack. They got. I don't know. They sort of gotten a little bit of. Oh well, Mr. Johnny Come Lately finally is doing something like this.
Yeah.
But and also the other complaint was that those aren't real games. They're just fluff.
Really? Because they launched the first month and they put it out twice. They put Halo 3 out as free twice.
Yeah, but
and that's not fluff.
No. But I'm just saying that was one of the complaints about the gold bonus plan. And it was only supposed to be for I think 6 months, and they decided to keep it going for till whenever. Do you think it was really that fair to do to kind of slam Microsoft for those 2 things as being down points for the program?
I do think so. It's the cynical gamer just, oh well, PS4, PS3 is so much better. They do this, they do that. I'm like, you know what? for people who are Xbox players like myself, and if these people are the same way, don't bitch. Do not look a free gift horse in the mouth.
Oh, you want to know something? I will bitch, because if you have the original 360 with only the 4 gig of memory in it, you're fucked.
Yeah, well, I'm thankfully I got one of the 250 gig hard drives. Thanks to Giotto, actually, I ended up grabbing it from him. And I haven't even gone through it after the last 2.5, 3 years. So
what do you think of this upcoming package of goodies from Microsoft, Ryda?
The only one I would even remotely have been interested in, I think, would have been Assassin's Creed. But of course, I've not played any of them.
Well, I know. Thank you, Coprick, for the host, dude. Very, very much. I know that if I had the Xbox One, I'd be getting both of those games, both Pool Nation and Child of Light. I like me a good pool game. As far as the Xbox 360, I can't really see anything there that honestly does anything for me at all.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try and get in before the 15th in April so I can get the Gears of War. So I'll give it another shot, even though I don't like the series that much. But I'm really excited for Assassin's Creed 4 and Army of Two. Because I played the original Army of Two, and it was actually, at least for me, a fairly decent game. It was you and another guy, you can co-op the game all the way through. So it is a lot of fun.
Well, while we're on the topic of freebies, thank you very much for the follow, Red Hawk. Very, very much. You know, while we're talking about freebies, the other day we mentioned the fact that I think it was Steam had a special deal. It was only going to be in Europe. And then we find out that Halo Online is coming back, but only in Russia. Now, Square Enix has announced an Easter surprise package for European players. Now this, for European players, the package features games normally worth 50 to 40 pounds, or 50 euro to 40 pounds, but is available for just
4 pounds.
549 euros and 4 pounds. The offer is from today at 12 p.m. Until March 31st. At that time, Square Enix will announce what's in the package, and you'll have your Steam keys by 1600. That's not fair.
No, why is Europe and Russia getting all the love here? Like, bring it to the world.
Yeah, screw the U.S. How about Canada getting some goodness these days? We get shit on all the time.
Yeah, how many
anything?
Well, how many good contests do you see out there, especially on like different websites, are U.S. only?
Yeah.
Screw you guys.
Yeah, screw you guys.
And you know what's screwing it for us? Is Quebec. Because every time you see a contest that includes Canada, it always excludes Quebec because they have different laws.
Well, it should be excluded.
They want nothing to do with us anyways.
Yeah, really. You know, like, shit on that. God damn. So, what, like, Kryda, what do you think of this? Like, we seem to be seeing this, you know, giveaway goodness going to everywhere but us. You're muted. Or I didn't hear you. No, you're muted. Nope. You don't.
We're doing it live. Oh.
Did we get that this time? Can hear something.
Hello.
There we go.
Yay!
What did you do?
I had to unplug and replug my mic in.
Now, as we were saying, what do you think about this favoritism to Europe lately?
Well, I was going to be a bit nice, but now I'm really in a pissy mood, so fuck them.
Gotta love it when you get in a pissy mood. One of the things we've always said that we want coming out of Steam is a refund policy, and especially one that works. Because I swear sometimes City Skylines, no, not, you know, Cities XL, XL, you know, BERF, they would have lost money on that one in that case. But apparently GOG, or yeah, GOG.com, is expanding its refund policy. GOG has expanded its refund policy to 30 days worldwide and across the board. A policy that covers games purchased by mistakes and those simply that will not run. In a State of Customer Experience post that went up yesterday, GOG said that hitting buy doesn't waive your rights. A clear shot at Valve's far more restrictive refund policies on Steam. Now, here's the uninterest. Like, okay, that sounds great, right? Sounds like they're really on the side of the consumers. You think? You think that's what this is all about, guys?
I think it's a big screw off to Steam.
It's
a poke in the eye. Well, it might be a good policy, but it's not all that altruistic. It came to light earlier this month that Valve had changed the Steam subscriber agreement to skirt the EU rules. As noted by GameSpot, the agreement acknowledges the right to withdraw from a purchase transaction for digital content without charge and without giving any reason for the duration of 14 days, but then subverts that right by tacking on "or until Valve's performance of its obligations has begun." Which basically means as soon as you start downloading that game, there's no refund from Steam. GOG, on the other hand, is saying, we don't care. If it doesn't, you know, if it, now I think that if you want, if you bought a game from them that you didn't, you know, I didn't like, they'd say, screw you. But if it couldn't run for whatever reason, then you get a refund, which I think is actually pretty damn cool.
Agreed. Because it's how many times have you had, like, I've had a couple of cases over the years where I bought a game, or when Blockbuster actually rented PC games way back, I had a couple that would not run, period, no matter what I did. And if it's a game you just purchased, there's 30, 40 bucks that just up in smoke if they won't take a refund.
Yeah. Do you think this might sort of spur Crida? Do you think it might spur Steam or Valve into maybe actually coming up with a good refund policy for the whole world rather than just Europe?
no. They're so big, they can get away with whatever the hell they want.
I'm sorry, but I have to agree with you. I don't think it'll make one bit of difference. Which is really kind of sad. Because I think that is one of, there's two things that I have a problem with Steam. One is it needs a serious overhaul on its infrastructure as far as the store is concerned, and it needs a major overhaul on the app, the desktop app for it. It is just, it's horrendous. Number two, there's no refund policy worth shit. Now, personally, I think if they addressed the refund policy idea first and came up with a good one, it would go a long way to changing their F in customer support services. But the question is, Karida and Red, do you think they will ever actually do that?
I'm not sure, because their track record is just as bad as Google's for getting direct live support. At least in my experience, I've never been able to. I think Google and a couple other companies are about the same, but Steam's worse. They have their user base knowledge base for issues, and then you basically are regulated to forums to get support.
You know, the one thing I think would really start to scare Steam and Valve is if GOG came out with a competing desktop app and library system.
Yeah, because all they have is a downloader right now.
Yep, all you do is download. It's DRM free, which is great, right? But if there's updates for it, you don't get any notification. Like that's the one thing that is fantastic about Steam. And correct me if I'm wrong on this, is the fact that once you have a game in your library, you don't have to worry about it, because it's going to get when there's an update, it's automatically going to hit. It's going to do its thing.
Yep.
And
unless
also the fact that because you can store your game files in the cloud, and most of the information about your games is stored on. You move to a new machine, all you got to do is install Steam and re-download your games that you want, but then it's all there. You haven't lost anything from gameplay.
Exactly.
Now, Karate, do you think that if GOG came out with the same sort of idea in a desktop app, that it might encourage more people to look at them as a decent competitor to Steam?
Has it helped EA?
Oh no, yeah, but no. They don't even come into this conversation. I'm sorry. Oh, they might want to with Origin, but no.
EA needs to be raised to the ground and built again from the ground up before anyone would take them seriously.
Yeah, no, they don't even come into this conversation.
Most of the stuff that's on GOG as well is a lot of the older stuff is what I've noticed.
But they are making a concerted push into new games
and indies,
and big into indies, which again could be another big market for them if they do it right. Is become the powerhouse for indie developers to be able to distribute their games via a desktop app.
I guess the matter is if it's worth it for them currently to even bother with a more fuller featured app.
What were you going to say, Karada?
I don't remember now.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Now this is an interesting move. H1Z1 from Daybreak Games, aka SOE Defunct, has an interesting penalty for cheaters. If you get caught cheating in the game, there is a broadcast notice that goes out to everybody playing that you have been banned, what you've been banned for, and a screenshot of what you were doing when you got banned. Plus, when you are banned, it spawns a new zombie.
Nice.
Now you gotta admit, that is just a pretty awesome way to deal with cheaters.
That is. Because most games, it's just unceremonious. They get banned and they're gone.
Yeah.
And you don't know why. This is awesome to have everyone understand who just got kicked, why they got kicked and banned, and here's the physical proof.
Yeah.
I wish they would do that in PlanetSide 2 as well.
Well, hey, listen, if it ends up working in H1Z1 and, it's all the same house, for games, there's probably no reason why it couldn't be implemented in PlanetSide 2. I would like to see really fun, constructive ways like this for dealing with cheaters in games become more popular. Like, do you remember what was it with SimCity with Sims 4? If you were running a pirated version of Sims 4, the pixelated area of your, privates would grow over time. Right? To the point that the moment
when one of them would go to the bathroom, it would just start there and just grow.
Yeah. So if they ever got support calls for pixel problems, I knew they were dealing with someone who had pirated the game.
Or the Serious Sam one they put in with the insanely hyper fast, unkillable scorpion monster.
Oh God, yes. Oh God.
It's hilarious. I watched a guy for 15 minutes trying to fight that thing off with nothing but a pistol.
Why do you think more companies don't try and do something creative like this, or interesting when it comes to dealing with people cheating in their games or pirating their games? Instead of just being a silent wall that comes crashing down on top of you, and you've got,
I'm not sure.
Because it takes effort.
Yeah, I think it's part of it. And some of them don't have a sense of humor. Like, I don't remember exactly what game this was, but if you had a pirated copy of the game, you literally were given a pirate hat in your character, and you had to wear it the entire game.
I remember, and I can't remember the game either. Damn, I can't remember. Maybe somebody in chat will
if you pirated Game Developer's Simulator or whatever it was, the game that you were making in Simulator started getting pirated, and your company went out of business.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
There have been some awesome ones, and there's been lists made for that kind of stuff. Like, I think there's been a couple older games as well that had a really... They didn't have DRM. They, like the old point-and-click games used to have books that came with them, or manuals. Like, the one I had was Island of Dr. Brain, which was this educational, entertaining game.
Yay, Dr. Brain!
And if you did not have the Encyclopedia Dictionary, or whatever it was called, because when you start up the game, it's like, go to this page, go to this line, what's the missing word? If you didn't have a manual,
and it would change. It would change
every time.
Yep.
TIE Fighter did that as well.
Yep. And that's
right
I forgot about that.
Yes.
That is a perfect DRM system and should have never changed. Because then they don't have to...
Yeah, but the problem is now, when was the last time you saw a game being sold with a manual in it?
True say.
Okay.
Or there was the one that y'all talked about not long ago, or like just the other night, Earthbound. Where if you had a pirated copy of it, it would put in hella more enemies, make them a bit tougher, and whenever you got to the final boss, the game would crash and erase all your saves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is brutal.
Yeah. I think, personally, I think that is a much better way to deal with shit like that. Because it's gonna happen. Well, have some fucking fun with it, dude. Like, really. I don't know. It just seems. But while we're talking about fun, one of the games I think we've all had fun with over time has been Half-Life 2. And there's been more than its fair share of mods that have come out for it. But there is a new one out now, and it's called Half-Life 2 Update. Now, it's not a brand new one. This is just a mod. But what it does, it's a mod. It's a community-made attempt to give Half-Life 2 a graphical upgrade, enhancing its aging visuals with some fancy technical trickery. We have a video of a comparison between, I guess, the old and the new. And this has Valve's sign of approval on it too, by the way. original. Damn.
Very nice.
They did a hell of a job.
Wow, yeah.
Improved the water dynamics, shadowing. Now the mod will be out tomorrow for this. You will need to own Half-Life 2, obviously, because it is only a mod. So anyway, that is Half-Life Update. There is the link in chat, which will have the link to the update page or the mod page for those that are interested. So what did you think of the improvements?
That's pretty nice. Like they're not massive, but it's more than enough to really change the game quite a bit.
Yeah. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that they did the side-by-sides, it'd probably be hard for a lot of people to tell how huge of a difference it is.
Well, the nice thing is, too, like I said, this does have Valve's stamp of approval on it. And I gotta admit, I almost am tempted to reinstall Half-Life 2 and install this mod just to play it again. Like, that's how impressed I was with it.
That's still in my library.
Well, it's still in mine, too. I've got all the Half-Life stuff in my library. Haven't played it for a shitload period of time, but it's all there. You know, that's something I don't ever want to get rid of, because you never know. You just might get that urge one day, and especially with mods like this coming out, that's some mighty fine upgrading of what they did for that. We are going to take a 5-minute break here, folks. It's getting the halfway, well, more than the halfway point, really. But we need to refill the drinks and take care of some stuff. And for Corrida, this intermission video is especially for you. So in the meantime, folks, we will see you in 5. We'll be right back.
losing her deflector shield. Both strap yourselves in. I'm gonna make a jump to light speed.
And we're back. So, what did you guys think of the the intermission video?
I had a feeling that might have been what it was.
When I saw them pop up today, I couldn't resist put together. Cause those are actually 3 different ones that I mashed together to make up just over the 5 minutes. But yeah, thought you'd enjoy that. Where'd my story list go? There we go. Free seems to be the thing these days. Especially if you happen to live in Northern Ireland and going to school, you get yourself a free copy of Minecraft. More than 200 schools will be supplied with the game, along with 3D libraries and other community along with 30 libraries and other community organizations. The version of the game supplied will be Minecraft EDU, a discounted version with features designed to use in classrooms. Minecraft EDU also includes a hosting service so players can easily connect and join in games together. The scheme is a joint project organized by the annual Cultural Tech Festival and Departments of Culture and Leisure. Mark Nagurski, Chief Executive Culture Tech, said the level of engagement is the first thing you notice. This is work that the kids really want to do, and if you're able to harness that enthusiasm, energy, and creativity, you end up with a pretty significant learning opportunity. Now, we've talked before about gaming in the classroom as a way of learning. What do you think of this move from like in Northern Ireland to be making this like a part of the regular classroom?
I'm all for it. If they can find like appropriate things to use Minecraft for in a learning environment, why not? Because there's a lot of potential with it. It's just I'm with the original article writers. Like in my day, we had Encarta 95, so count yourself lucky. That's about all we had.
Yeah, I had the library.
Yep, that's all I was allowed to use.
Yeah, I didn't have that shit. It was go down to the library and book stuff out into a cubicle and sit there for 2 hours.
Well, yeah, don't forget with Mr. Stocky. Oh God, Mr. Stocky Hands. We had Oregon Trail, Cross Country Canada, and HyperCard. I feel privileged.
Cross Country what?
Cross Country Canada. It was basically
the Canadian version of the Oregon Trail.
Yes and no.
Oh,
it was
okay.
a logistics simulator. You were basically a truck driver, having to go cross country. You know what? It was because it was interesting because you had to manage it like you would normally. What load you had, your timing, and how to get there, your gas, your sleep, everything. So it was pretty involved for a game of its time.
So, what's your feeling, Krida, on this increasing emphasis of games in the classroom? Like, gaming, education-wise, if you want, but still the fact, it's still gaming. With it becoming, I guess, part of the curriculum in a lot of schools.
Actually, even, back whenever I was in school, I basically ran our computer lab. I used games for it as well. So, I like the idea.
Well, I think right now it's not only in elementary schools, it's also in higher learning. I think it's UAT in Arizona had a course where it was a literature course covering Tolkien's work. It's like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Silmarillion, but it was a requirement to install and play Lord of the Rings online as part of the course. And it was a lot of it about comparing and taking the mental imagery and the written imagery as opposed to how they recreated it in the gaming world. And I'm like, where was this about 12 years ago when I was in college?
Yeah. 12 years ago, try about maybe 25 or 30. Well, definitely 30 or 40. Like, really?
I'm sorry that at that time the only fun you had was scratching a donkey's ass, Cranky.
The donkey enjoyed it. No? Okay. An interesting rumor has surfaced today. And I gotta admit... What?
I said I need to behave.
No, you don't. No, that is not a requirement of this show. No. One of the more interesting rumors I've heard of late surfaced today. The idea that Samsung might be in the market to buy AMD. Future Samsung, the article goes on, future Samsung smartphones and tablets could get a major boost in graphical muscle, an AMD Radeon powered boost to be precise. Is there any substance to today's rumor that Samsung is considering acquiring AMD? Time will tell. Yeah, duh. they go on to saying, you know, there's plenty of reasons why Samsung might want to do it. You know, it's, I can think of a lot that they wouldn't. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, but one of the arguments with Radeon as part of its portfolio, Samsung would never have to look for an outside source again for their GPUs. Plus, AMD has some pretty extensive experience with ARM-based processors. So, in that aspect, yeah, it could make sense for Samsung to go down that road. But really, what do you guys think? First off, do you think this rumor could turn out to be true?
It's potential. I don't know if it would be, but like if with AMD having experience with the similar processors, you could see this kind of acquisition really benefiting their mobile branch. Huge, you know, because they with all the NVIDIA, like the Shield and things like that, or things that are already using kind of halfway decent graphics chips in them. This would just boost these phones and tablets quite a bit and make gaming better on them, regardless of what people think of AMD these days.
What's your opinion, Krata?
It's an interesting rumor, but it's also telling of like, wow, sinking ship much?
Yeah, what, AMD or Samsung?
Yes.
Yes, yes for both, yeah.
Samsung is not really going to go anywhere.
No.
But, I know whenever AMD first bought the Radeon stuff.
ATI.
Yeah. They were still doing rather well with their processors.
Yes, they were.
But it did not take long for them to do a huge nosedive.
Yeah, they have not been doing well in the marketplace because like AMD's always been the counterpoint on the processor side to Intel. It's always been that counterpoint. On the GPU side, ever since it bought ATI, it's been the counterpoint to NVIDIA. You can't really count Intel graphics in this conversation.
They're terrible anyways.
I never quite understood the reason for that purchase of ATI by AMD. And it didn't make sense to me at the time. Still really doesn't. And it's proven not to have been a successful move for them.
Nope.
Now,
but
go ahead.
I will fully admit I was an AMD fangirl pretty much after I got after my Cyrix 586 chip until their dual cores. After that, whenever the quad cores came out, I was just like, AMD's lost it.
Yeah. Well, the Athlon when it first came out was not bad, but from that it definitely went downhill from that point on. Okay, so
and then the X2.
Yeah, let's say this acquisition does happen. Is this a smart move, really, by Samsung?
Well, like they mentioned in the article, in a way, it keeps the GPU side of thing in-house for them, technically, at that point. Which means they would have a lower cost at putting together phones with a decent graphics set, a chip, which could reduce costs overall for customers. So that could be a benefit in the long run. And like I said, I've stuck with AMD for the most part. And I think the only thing I don't even know if Diamond, the Monster cards were under the same wheelhouse or not back in the day, but like I haven't had problems with AMD, and the only thing I have a problem with now is my processor is not high enough. So
yeah, I mean, like Oren said, business may not be buying another for its core business. they literally could be looking to buy this just for the patent portfolio.
Yes, that was my other thought. Because all the big companies... Now, here's another interesting thing. Once you get this kind of rumor started, it's like a feeding frenzy starts. And other companies start getting in on the action. Now, if Samsung's in the market to buy AMD, who else might be prompted to look at trying to trump Samsung and buy AMD before they do?
Apple. Because
LG.
those two, yeah, LG or Apple, I would say, but Apple more so because they love their little lawsuit war. And they just go back and forth at each other.
That's not me this time.
It ain't me.
It sounds like 2 or 3 at least out there.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Oh, good old wonderful
Lord.
Atlanta.
Now, what it is I only live a few miles from one of the big hospitals.
Oh, okay. So you're suggesting Apple and LG. What about Microsoft?
I think Microsoft's smart enough to not touch this.
Again, you're looking at the same reasoning. You could use the same reasoning that we're using for Samsung. IP, trademarks, copyright. They wouldn't have to go out of house for their graphics chips, for their phones, for their tablets, for their Xbox. It could all be in-house. And it would also give them an in-house ARM processor manufacturer, designer. And, and considering they have a blanket license from ARM to do whatever they want, I'm just tossing that name out there because we've already got Apple in the mix. I don't see Google doing it. I honestly do not see Google being anywhere near this one with a 10-foot pole.
Nope. What they like to do is let others design the CPUs, but they'll design the boards that they'll run them on.
I don't know. Like, there's so many companies that could benefit from this kind of an acquisition. Like, it's hard to say who'd get the best benefit or who'd actually do it right, or what their.
I think it boils down to
reasons.
who's willing to pay the most.
Yeah, which isn't always the best case.
No.
Especially for our side of things.
No.
Yep. And honestly, you could even see someone buy it and fold it.
Which would be sad, because you know what? Again, how long I've supported them and bought processors and stuff from them.
That worries me. Okay, the very fact. Okay, here's the other thing too. Even if it is bought by another company, let's say it's bought by Samsung, it's basically off the market. It's in-house stuff now. Sure, they might have, you know, the Samsung video cards or the Samsung processors that but it won't be a direct competitor anymore to Intel. It won't be a direct competitor anymore to NVIDIA. So we're losing competition in an area that desperately needs it.
Well, I mean, even if it sticks around, we need that. We need more out there as well.
Yes.
Because I remember back in the 90s where we had like the Cyrix chips. Oh my god, I loved my Cyrix 586. That thing was a beast.
Do you remember karate? I'm sure you do. The software processor that was being touted. It was around I think it was around the same time as Cyrix. It was a big push. It was basically a software-based processor.
I don't remember it clearly, but I think I remember hearing something about it.
It got a lot of press at the time. It didn't last very long, and nothing. It actually, I think, that company ended up getting bought by somebody because of their IP and patents. But yeah, no, I remember the Cyrix chip, and it had the potential to be a good competitor.
That was a chip that you could overclock the ever-loving fuck out of it. And it's just like, what? Bring it.
Yeah.
You're gonna melt me?
Yeah, do it some more. Yeah.
You know, it's something I just
Make
thought
me
of.
smoke.
So I just thought of it could be kind of potentially even worse than Samsung acquiring AMD. NVIDIA acquiring them.
They can't.
Mm-mm.
They
would not be allowed.
Yeah, the FTC.
Oh, yeah.
The FTC would not allow it. Neither would the Justice Department. That has antitrust written all over it. That would never happen.
Would be interesting. I know it won't happen, but that would be something interesting to see. I think it would be probably more of a negative thing.
Here's the thing. I don't even think we can imagine what that landscape would be like, because it will never happen. Because it literally would stifle competition 100%. Because you've only got one. At this point, you would only have one major GPU manufacturer who has no competition. Ain't happening.
Yeah. Well, I just hope that honestly, I'm hoping to God that AMD can pull something out of their ass, because like I said, I've got a hand-me-down 1 gig video card, and served me well so far.
AMD's been down this road before, though. And I think we all know, like, what, back in the mid-90s, everybody was saying AMD's dead. You know, it's going to die, it's gone. And lo and behold, they came out with a graphics card that fucking blew everybody out of the water, and it brought them back from death, and they went gangbusters. And it was shortly after that AMD bought them. AMD bought because it was ATI originally,
right?
Right, and they were on basically a number of times in the 90s. They were in really, really rough shape, to the point people were saying, you know, ATI's dead, done. But after that one, I'm not sure what series it was. Maybe somebody in chat will know. But I know it was one specific card that they came out with that literally blew out NVIDIA, blew out Intel, just took that's what brought them up to the level of being a gamer's video card. And it was at that point that AMD bought it.
Yeah, I remember for a while, ATI was king of the roost over our Voodoo cards, our Diamond Stealth.
Oh, I remember the S3s.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, like the Trident.
Ooh.
Yeah, you remember the Trident? How about the Hercules?
Had one of those as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's going way back. Like you could typically most of your XTs and your early 286s and 386s came with Hercules monochrome graphics cards. That's what they basically came with. God, that was a long time. Damn. God, I'd forgotten all about the Hercules and the S3, the Trident, because I had a Trident, I had an S3, and I had a I think I even had them up to maybe 10 or 15 years ago when I finally did a complete, dump of all the old stuff. But oh yeah.
And from what I remember, ATI ruled, and then NVIDIA came out.
Yeah.
And it was whenever they started, for a little bit there where they were trying to compete, they could not. So they started nearly dying. Then something brought them back into the game.
Yep. It was one specific series of cards. I
think it's Radeon, the Radeon series that launched them. Because
it was probably because Radeon didn't come out until 2000. Yeah, that was around the time when AMD started taking over. That's when the Radeon was No, it was the series prior to the Radiant.
It's the one before that. I'm looking at their wiki is the Rage series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize these guys were based out of Markham.
That was the killer card to have with the ATI Rage. You couldn't get a better card for gaming. Couldn't get a better card for graphics or desktop publishing. It was the king. Cost you a fucking arm and a leg, but
yeah, because it was funny because the ATI cards used to be the more expensive ones, so people were going with NVIDIA.
Yeah.
And now it's flip-flop.
Yeah. See, yeah, Ron had it too. It was the Rage series. I remember the all-in-ones. No, God, no. God.
Oh, God.
I think that was one disastrous experiment that should never have happened.
It's one of the things that nearly killed them.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Amazingly so.
Didn't they have like a cable coax input or something on the back of those too?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
it had a built-in TV
one.
tuner. It had a built-in TV tuner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why it was called the all-in-one.
I will say one thing: the card or the all-in-wonders were great for those back in the day that like to make anime music videos, where you had to actually use the tape decks to record your video and then sync it with the audio and stuff, and rip your footage straight off the off the tape. No, I've never done that at all.
Oh no, of course not. No. Moving on, one of the big games out this week that everybody's talking about is Pillars of Eternity from Paradox. Again, we've got another hot title from Paradox. We have a release trailer for it, so we'll play it first and then go from there.
Peggy 16.
There is sickness in the world's heart. Perhaps the price of crossing a god.
Have you ever conceived a hollow-born child?
Every woman knows her womb may shed a stillborn, but these cold, soulless creatures...
Refugees from every corner of the Deerwood.
We've been lied to. Our whole lives, and many lives before that.
Deerwood is a rebel country. Conflict is in its blood.
This is about my people. If that's not worth blood, I don't know what is.
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart. Some deaths come from silence. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it.
Okay, now this was an originally a Kickstarter project from Obsidian, and it is being published by Paradox. And there are many people out there saying things like this is the rebirth of RPG. It is getting all kinds of fucking great press. What do you guys think? From what you've heard so far and what you've seen.
You're gonna lose
Baldur's
me to it
Gate,
eventually.
Icewind Dale, Neverwinter.
Well,
So happy.
Considering that the Obsidian devs have pointedly said that this is a homage to those games. It's a homage to Baldur's Gate. It's a homage to Neverwinter. You know, it's right along those lines, but it's for today. You know, with the technology we have.
We also have another one that is upcoming that is actually set in the Forgotten Realms. setting as well.
Which one's that?
I cannot remember the name of
Is
it.
Sword Coast's Adventures or
Yes.
something like that?
Yes.
I'll be honest, as much as awesome as this looks, I would be more excited for that, because I love Forgotten Realms. I love that
Okay,
whole
explain
universe.
to me this, because I'm obviously missing part of gaming history here. Forgotten Realms?
Forgotten Realms.
It is a Dungeons and Dragons setting.
Okay.
That is one of the most popular, alongside Dragonlance and Ravenloft. You can guess that man right there and that drow.
Okay.
The Driz Do'Urden series is long. They got to be up to 20 some odd books. It is all set in Forgotten Realms universe. Like Baldur's Gate was set in it. Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter, like all those games, all centered in the same thing. So you got the companions of Mithril Hall, and like I think D&D 3.5 initially was all set that way, and that's just.
Son of a bitch! Stop! No! No! No!
Yeah. So. But honestly, I wouldn't have gotten as huge into it if it wasn't for Giotto with getting me into D&D and my father getting me into the books. And so I owe my fantasy love for this series from them.
Okay, I remember that name. I remember that book for some reason. I can't remember why.
This was my first fantasy book that I knew that it was fantasy. It took me 3 tries to be able to read this.
My first one was Legends of Huma in Dragonlance series.
You know, the one book that I had the hardest time reading was by a sci-fi author by the name of Samuel Delany. And his book, Titan. It was about yay thick. And I picked it up, I think it was about 16 or 17, I picked it up. I got about 3 chapters into it, and I couldn't read anymore. About 5 to 6 years later, I picked it up again and read it. And basically, Titan is about the end of the world when Earth is getting chewed to pieces by the exploding sun. And what the cities are like, what people are like, and it was an awesome book, but really, really hard to get into. But yeah, I got fond memories of that too. Jesus Christ. So okay, so Sword Coast is the one you're saying you think is going to be better than Pillars?
I wouldn't say better, but I'm more excited.
But it's our setting.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
It's the one that we could go in and be like, I know this place.
I don't do that with video games. Mainly because
you haven't sat down and read about these adventures running through them.
I've never gotten into playing the Divorce Simulator. Too many bad memories.
What?
Never mind.
What are you calling Divorce Simulator?
What was that? I think it was originally out of Japan. The Ace Attorney.
Phoenix Wright?
I think that was it.
Yeah, but he's a defense attorney.
Yes, I know. But
yeah.
I was having fun with it, man.
I thought you were talking about EverQuest for a second first.
Hey, wait a minute.
So did I.
Where the fuck does the Divorce Simulator come into EverQuest?
Because the husband ends up playing way too much EverQuest and the woman leaves him.
Uh-huh. It happened.
A lot of it happened.
WoW is still doing it.
Okay.
And the universe.
Alright. Next up, we have a game called, it's from Splash Damage. It's a first-person shooter, and it's called Dirty Bomb. And it's open as a beta. It's a closed beta. It's been restarted. It's exclusively on Steam. Anyone who previously received a beta key will have access to the hardcore free-to-play first-person shooter. Better yet, there are no more planned wipes, and anyone who participated in at least one game during our testing period in February and March will receive the limited edition Obsidian loadout card. We have a trailer for it, and this, funnily enough, is actually getting some fairly decent reviews, which kind of surprises me, but let's have a look at Dirty Bomb. Okay, the music sold me right there.
Here comes the wrath of the unjust.
Rifle shotgun.
Pleasure doing business with ya. A gift for you, no charge.
Hang in there, I'm coming. Let's go.
Fire in the hole. One shot, one kill.
I can't believe I get paid for this.
Okay, so that is Dirty Bomb. Now I gotta admit, that looked fun as hell.
Yeah, whenever I first saw Fish streaming it a bit after he was actually able to show it, it did not look good. It looked like fun, but they definitely did a graphical update, it looks like. Because it pretty much looked like we were back in Team Fortress 1 days.
That bad, eh?
Or Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, it definitely got an upgrade then in the graphics department. But I also, I have to admit, I got an instant feel for loadout out of this. Anybody else? Or you've never played loadout? Do you know what loadout is?
I don't know what loadout is. I have it on my Steam wish list, so I know to play it later. But I never did. I really should. It looks like fun, but this looks like a little, I would say a little bit more of a serious kind of version of loadout. Still with humor, but no Ben Dangly bits or anything.
Thank God for that. I wonder how the breast physics are. So what do you think? Is this one that you're gonna like? It's free to play, but you have to right now. You can only sign up on the official Dirty Bomb website for a chance to enter the closed beta. I put the link in chat for you guys that want to link to it. I'm almost tempted to give it a shot just to see if I can get in and then play it for a little bit. Because I
actually think I have access to it.
Oh, you would. You're rotten that way. How about sharing?
I just signed up for the closed beta, so see if I get in.
Yeah. Games like this can be, like, you know what games like this remind me of? It's pure, unadulterated fun and a good way to waste half an hour of your time in a day when you got nothing better to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's nothing socially redeeming about it. You know, there's nothing, you know, heavy learning about it, other than the fact you got to learn not to get yourself killed. But yeah, it looks like it could be a heck of a good game.
Well, the socially redeeming is the last quality on my list of things that make me want to play a game anyways, so...
That is true. Okay, but... Do you think there is a place for... And I don't mean socializing Facebook and Twitter and this kind of thing. I mean Okay, you know the game The War Is Mine, where you play as someone living in a war zone. That's what is considered a social game, right? A social. I can't think of the proper word. But do you think there is a place for that type of game, and will we start to see more like that going forward?
So I mean, kind of more of a thought piece as opposed to just outright wanton violence and fun.
Yeah,
in a way. There is there are certain games where doing that kind of thing doesn't fit or just feels forced. But even in a kind of a small scale way, games like Dragon Age and Mass Effect, when they have, it's really kind of usually black and white moral choices. Even those would kind of fall into that mentality, because you have those moments where it's like, well, I either save, I think in the first game you save the council, or you say, fuck the council, they haven't helped me, we're shit, you can all die. I'm saving my own. So, but a game like The War Is Ours, like, it's really more of putting yourself in a position kind of mentally and through the game that really doesn't get explored that often.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key thing, is that it's not another jingoistic shooter, or it's not another, kill the Nazis, it's survive. And it was, I really need to play that, because it's the kind of idea of it's really interesting.
What do you think, Craig? Do you think social-oriented, moral choice type games will gain in popularity and become a staple of our gaming world? Or will they always be sort of one-offs, like the War, War Is Mine?
Not really sure, honestly.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, which of you two don't remember Command & Conquer series?
I remember vividly.
You remember vividly?
Most of it.
How about you, Cry? Did you remember the Command & Conquer?
Oh yeah, I remember it.
Yeah? Well, apparently, a bunch of fans have re-imaged CNC Renegade into a game called Renegade X or Renegade 10. It's a new trailer. We got the trailer for it. It's part of the game's open beta number 4 update, which adds new maps, modding tools, and an in-game jukebox, among other changes, which I'll get into in a minute. Where are we here? Give me that one right there. Thank you very much. And let's have a look at Renegade X to have a look and see what you guys think of it. Okay, now as part of the open beta number 4 update, there's 3 new levels: Under, Canyon, and Complex. There's an auto patcher. There's modding and mapping tools, in-game jukebox, smoke grenades, vehicle drops, building destruction changes, optimization for better performance and crash fixes, vehicle kill messages, time C4 countdown, EMP grenade changes, pawn and vehicle movement adjustments, new vehicle locking system, idle player kicking system, blah 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 blah. And you know what? It's free. And just because I love you guys so much, there's the link to it that contains the download link to Renegade X. Have at it, guys.
And we all run off to it.
I'll do you guys one better. More direct to the download page.
Don't be a dick, alright?
Because you know what I'm doing after I'm done here.
Wait. Yeah. While we were watching this, I went and dug up my key for Dirty Bomb and got it on Steam now.
He's a dick, you're a bitch.
Thank you.
And I'll be honest with you, Giotto lent me his CNC collection a while back, which I still have, and I grabbed it from him exclusively to play Renegade.
Yeah. Well,
like nothing else, because I remember playing the multiplayer demo of this game and loving it back in the
well,
day.
The thing is, this is a re-imaging of that game done by fans. It's a standalone game. It doesn't you don't need CNC Renegade as far as I can tell, and it's available for free. So you guys have some fun with that one, and when you're playing it, think of Late Night with Cranky and Friends, that we turned you on to it. All right. Now, when it comes to horror games, we're kind of used to the jump scare type of thing, and we're used to like long games. There is one out, and it's called The Static Speaks My Name. And it is a 10-minute game. But I have a trailer for it. And I'll explain it after we watch the video, because it's definitely fucked up.
You love art. But is it possible to love a piece of art too much? So much that you begin to turn to it for the answers to questions such as, what kind of magnet bends light? What is the power of the blood moon? Why does my reflection move without my permission? Are my little shrimpies happy? Who do I talk to if I have no one to talk to? Will today be a better day?
Okay, now, to give you an idea, let me just see if I can find the right spot here. Basically, you are a character who has become obsessed with one painting. And you become so obsessed that it starts to take over your world. It starts to talk to you. It starts to make you question shit. It's all very atmospheric. And it's a horror. So take it from there. There's a good post, and also with a link to where you can grab it. Like it says, it's only 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute game. Oh, screw off, Katukus. You and your long links. God damn. there's a link to the game. It will give you a really good walkthrough of what the game is. But basically, everybody that's played it so far, and I've watched a bunch of different playthroughs of it, it fucks people up. It literally is a gut punch. Thank you, Loved Madly. Very, very much. Very much. So yeah, there's that. Just in case you want yourself a horror game to sign the night. So obviously you didn't get to see much there. But given the really shitty description as well, what do you think of what you like? Is it worth 10 minutes of your time?
10 minutes, sure.
Yeah.
It's free.
Well, the price of admission's right.
Yeah, Rap Dragon, that is to the post. The reason I put that in there, it gives, for the people that aren't sure about it, it gives them a bit of a walkthrough of the game. I wasn't going to read the whole damn thing, but there is a link to the game in that post. So that's why I did the post link. Like, I won't be playing it because I'm not a horror genre player. I don't like horror genre, period. Zip, not even interested. Mind you, I was awful tempted by Alien Isolation.
It's extremely cheap on Steam right now.
What, Alien Isolation?
Yeah, like $15.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. And I'm not even sure now if I really want to play it. To be honest with you, given the time period that's gone by, I was really excited leading up to it because it was like it was getting a lot of Sigourney Weaver was coming back to play Ripley. She was voicing Ripley, and it was a lot of the voice actors from Aliens was doing the voices in the game, and I was kind of excited about that whole aspect of it. But I don't know. I don't even know if it was in my live right now, if I'd play it or not. I really don't. I probably would just for the hell of it, just to see what it was like. But anyway, that is it for. Oh, wait a minute. We do have one more here. There is another one on that's coming up on Kickstarter. If you like RPGs, there's a dark horror fantasy called Shadow of the Demon Lord. Where the player fights to survive in worlds beset by fiends and racked by looming demonic apocalypse. And the people creating it are some of the best designers and writers in tabletop gaming. The beauty of this dark fantasy setting is that it lets you lean on familiar fantasy tropes, but you can twist and warp them, do away with cliches, and find fresh new angles. The setting for Shadow of Demon Lords is a place that's falling apart. The Demon Lord himself has arrived to conquer or just destroy this world, and everywhere his shadow falls is a breeding ground of chaos and madness. If you want more information on it, here is their Kickstarter link. If RPGs is your thing, you can check it out. It looks pretty good. The artwork so far is fairly decent. But do you think we're starting to reach that point of RPG overload?
Not with this. This is totally different. This is your gaming books. We're never going to hit saturation on that.
Wait, what? I thought this was a... This is a...
It's a tabletop game. It is a dice and paper tabletop game.
Well, screw that shit.
Well, fuck you too.
Who gives a shit about tabletop? Well, we will we will soon. In a roundabout way.
But the designer of it is the one who has been designing Song of Ice and Fire RPG for Green Ronin, which my friend that I always talked about that had to move back, he helps out on it. And then also one of the one of the biggest names still around, Monty Cook. So for any of you D&D people and stuff, you should recognize Monty Cook's name.
So I guess this would be a big deal for people who like tabletop gaming to get in on.
Potentially, yeah. Especially considering it's harkening back to like Ravenloft and stuff like that.
Huh. Alrighty. Well, on that note, folks, we'll call this show to an end for tonight. Couple things to mention. As I said, Red has had a chance to start playing Ethereum. He's going to be doing a review of it, which will get posted to crankygamers.com. Giotto, who is in chat, is as the Giotto. Thank you, Check84, dude, very much. Thank you. Also does a lot of game reviews on crankygamers.com. Plus, and I got kind of lazy there for a little while, all the shows from late night, the interviews, are posted daily to Cranky Gamers as well. They're right there on the front page. You can't miss them. So if you want to be able to keep up, if you miss the show, just check crankygamers.com and you'll find it there. 2 new shows coming. I know some of you have heard this before, but for those new people, starting in April, the first Monday of April, which I believe is the 7th, I will be starting off the morning live with Morning Coffee with Cranky. That's me. Where it'll just be me, my coffee, my smoke, and whatever is in my gaming news feed for the morning. Just chatting up and having a bullshit session with whoever's in TeamSpeak and whoever's in chat. Just 10 a.m. Monday to Friday. The second show, which is one I'm really excited about, is called The Rec Room, and I'll give you a little more information. Actually, I'll give you all the information tonight. The Rec Room is going to be every Tuesday from 1 until 4, and it is 4 hosts sitting around a tabletop, playing tabletop simulator games, talking about the gaming news, pop culture, whatever comes to our friggin' minds at the moment. It's just going to be pure fun. And that'll be Tuesdays at 1 p.m. And we'll probably run it for a couple hours, depending on how well it goes over. Some important news regarding new interviews that are going to be happening. We have confirmed lined up the devs behind the Weaponographist. Say it for me, Coretta, please.
The Weaponographist.
Weaponographist. Danny and Dave will be joining me on, hang on, so let me just get the right date.
I think you said April 1st at 2.
Yeah, April 1st at 2 p.m., which is a Wednesday. That's going to be a dynamite interview. That's going to be followed by an interview with another dev of a game that Red Mage absolutely loves, Lancelot's
Hangover.
Lancelot's Hangover. And so, yeah, all that good stuff coming, folks. All good stuff. But in the meantime, thank you, Coretta, for kicking your machine in the ass and getting it up and running and being here tonight. As always, love having you here. Thank you, Red Mage, for being here as always. Even though you've got your shiny new car running on the road and you're all over the place now, we'll never see you again.
Oh, that's only during the day. At night, I'm home.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Anyway, I'm the Cranky Canuck. Thank you very, very much for being here. We will see you again tomorrow at 12 a.m. But until then, remember the 2 most important words, folks. 2 most important words. Game on.
Bye.